Hello everyone, and Krydax here. Welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. We've done some work since the last episode. Looks like science is frozen. I did load the correct one, right? Hold on. I was idling for a long time in the game looking into some beacon stuff. Yeah, we're still at 328. Okay. Just making sure. Don't need to add an extra hour for no reason. So, I made a thing. Krydax got nerd sniped. Yet again. So check this out. Boom! So this is, basically... How do I even describe this? It's a beacon hunting combo for pyanodons using the AM/FM channels. So let's say you've got your building and you're like, I've got 2 prod modules in it, and I'd like to figure out how can I get the overall output speed, which is this E speed one over here, because speed times prod, gives you your effective speed. So let's say you wanted to get that to 2.0, and you wanted to figure out like a good efficient way to do that. So you might be like, well, maybe I start with a speed beacon on 3.3, and you can also see here there's 2 things going on here. Let me explain. Each of these represents adding 1 more beacon, and they are in sequence, so that each one knows about what the previous one was. Over here you're actually picking beacon 1, beacon 2, beacon 3, and then it updates what the other ones say. So you can't like click on them here. That would be cool if like clicking on it here would set these. I don't know if Google Sheets can do that, but the important part is you can select it by typing it in over here. But here you can see the speed and the energy required, and this is energy per speed if you care about that ratio, because that's effectively telling you like the power efficiency of the building. It's ignoring the cost of the beacon though. So obviously like a 5.5 beacon is going to be great, but it's ignoring the fact that that beacon costs 250 megawatts or whatever. And so I tally up the megawatts and effectivity here for that beacon. And then I also calculate to the left of that a rough idea of megawatts per building. This is a very rough idea of how many buildings you can affect with 1 beacon, depending on the AM channel. AM5, is tiny, so you can really only hit 4 buildings at most of pretty much any building shape. The AM4 can usually hit 6 buildings, maybe 8. It could hit 12 if the buildings are smaller than 7x7, because then you can fit 2 rows of them, but that could be tricky with belting and stuff anyway. So this is a very conservative number. I was using like a very large building to get these numbers, so you'll actually usually be better off than this. The problem is if you're not using 20 buildings, then the power per building is a little bit of an overestimate there. But it's just a little bit of a useful guide, like, oh, when I change my AM channel, that's roughly how many megawatts I'm spending per building to get that beacon applying to all those buildings. If I've got a bunch of them. So yeah, let's say we were using a 4.3. We can see here, if I wanted to just get to an effective speed of 2.0, I could go with a 5.3 right here. I could also go with a 4.4, but a 5.3 is probably better for power. So a 5.3 is a 67.5, and a 4.4 is 128 megawatts. But a 5.3 affects less buildings, 16.9 megawatts per building versus 21.3, so I actually think a 5.3 is better. So with our 5.3, now we've got a building that has an effective output of 2, which again, that means it's going twice as fast in terms of the recipe output. That it's actually only going 1.7 speed, but then that gets multiplied by the extra 20% productivity. So if you just want the regular speed, you look at this. If you want the effective output rate, you look at that. Now, what I forgot to do, I just realized, is factor in the building itself starting with a crafting speed of 2. This is like compared to the building's base level crafting speed. This is not the absolute crafting speed, which normally goes 1, 2, 3, 4 with pi buildings. And I didn't I didn't add a spot to type that in. Is there a place I could add that really easily? I mean, weirdly enough, not really, because it's just adding together all the numbers, and I don't have space for an extra number. But I could change the formulas, of course. I could put that number up here or something, and then I could start with a 2, and then it would multiply all of that, the effective speed, by 2. Actually, I guess I can just do that right now. Times I3. Times I3. It is going to be wrong, though, when it comes to all these tables are based on effective speed in terms of the building's base rate. Not, it won't update with these numbers. But there we go. So now you can look at, like, oh, a tier 3 building with 3 prod modules, you know, tier 1, and then speed 2 in your beacon, you know, and then you can see what you get. And the cool thing about this is that if you're hunting for multiple beacons, it allows you to pretty easily kind of see your options. You're like, okay, well, here's my... Oh, why is the conditional formatting on this guy not working? Maybe I forgot to set it up. I thought the conditional formatting here was working, but I guess it's not. Anyway, I need to fix that. But it kind of grays out what you've already selected. So then you see these are your options. And you're like, okay, I want better energy per speed. I want better energy efficiency. And we'll say efficiency 2 modules. Efficiency modules kind of suck in Pi. I'm surprised they're not slightly buffed. I would prefer if they slightly buffed efficiency modules and then slightly nerfed buildings where efficiency modules are overly strong. Because that just the way it is now kind of makes efficiency modules just pretty weak in general. Because look, you can see with prod modules here, we can get as low as 2.5 energy per speed. But if I just use speed modules instead, sorry, speed 2 modules, because we're looking at tier 2, right? Well, I guess we're looking at tier 3 building, which is not realistic. Tier 3 building would have tier 2 modules. So with a 2 module setup, you can see here that we get 2.33 energy per speed. Whereas with efficiency, we'd barely have it any better. I guess I can't do a 5.5. It would be like a 4.5. But there you can see 2.67 speed versus 4.68. We can go twice as fast for basically the same energy. 2.35 versus 2.1. So you barely save any energy with these efficiency modules, and it only gets worse from there. The more prod you add, or the higher tier prod that you add, the more the speed modules continue to win ridiculously. And speed modules at higher tiers are also a much better ratio of speed to power for what the speed module's adding. So even if you're just looking at tier 2 speed modules, you can... Oh, these were already tier 2 speed modules. I see. Okay. But yeah, all that to say, when you're using productivity, speed is basically always the answer. In very few cases will you use efficiency modules. It could come up once in a while, but most of the time you're not gonna. So yeah, let's say we wanted to add on the 4.4, so we type that over here. And then this gives us our new kind of totals for the building's results. So after using a 5.3 speed beacon, and then using a 4.4 speed beacon, these are all on tier 1, right? I think so. I made the colors slightly darker, but I don't know if I did a good enough job at that to tell them apart at a glance. Anyway, so yeah, now we can see we're at an effective speed of 10.7, which is 3.5 times the building's original rate. And then we could keep going if we wanted to. If we're like, I want more speed. I need it to go 5 times the original rate. Then we can keep looking around in here. If we add more speed, I would need a 3.5 to get to 5.0 speed here. So then we can type in 3.5, and you can see our final speed would be 5.016 times the original crafting rate. And the energy per speed is 3.014, which means we're using triple the energy that we originally would have used. And that's counting in the speed still. So essentially it's like, although that's not counting in the effective speed. I'm actually doing the wrong, that's the wrong number. Psych, that's the wrong number. Like if you get that reference, divided by, we don't want to divide by I, we want to divide by L, 11. Debugging the spreadsheet on a video is the best kind of content. All right, so now you can see the real number. So yeah, 2.5 energy per speed means we're using 2.5 units of energy more than we would have with the baseline building, like per output rate. Obviously, that's usually worth it because now you have 5 times fewer buildings, right? But look at all this power that you're using. You know, you're using another, what is that? 50, 60 megawatts per building? 55? So that's not cheap, right? But you're using 5 times fewer buildings and you're getting 20% prod out of it. So you gotta really pick your battles here to figure out what you want and in terms of power and all that. But I do find this to be a helpful tool that I built. I'll share the link. You can make a copy and play with it yourself. I also made another page which is like looking at all of the possible pairs of beacons, just pairs. And this was a filter view where you can see like different things, but I've sorted it. You can sort it by whatever you want, but here's it's sorted by total effectivity of the combo. So the best combo is a 4-4 and a 5-5. That's not surprising. But a 5-4 and a 4-5 is almost as good, and it uses quite a bit less power. So you can always, you know, kind of think about that. And then I did 2 different ratios. One is effectivity divided by power. This is effectivity squared divided by power. And the reason I did that is because I think that in most cases, you'd be happy to get twice as much effectivity for 4 times the power. And so I think it's a slightly better measure of comparison. Because doubling your effectivity but using 4 times more beacon power in most cases is a good thing. And then I did a, you know, conditional formatting, so the more green means higher number relatively. So like this one is quite a nice ratio, a 5-3 and a 4-4. You get 3.1 effectivity for 195 megawatts. So like that's a useful thing to know, is a 5-3 and a 4-4 is a pretty good ratio. If you need a little bit more power, you can do a 4-3 and a 5-4. Instead of... It feels like I just said the same thing, but I didn't. But yeah, if you go down, you know, the next highest ratio after 492 is this one. This is the next best one. At a 2.3 effectivity, it's a 4-2 and a 5-3. So... And obviously the best power ratios are going to include AM 4 and 5 because those are better power. Higher AM doesn't cost you that much more power. So it makes sense. So what if you're like, I don't want to use AM 5? Well, then you filter out the AM 5 in both of these lists. And now you've only got AM 4 and better. And now you can sort even Z to A on that. And now you can see, okay, what's my best one? It's going to be a 4-1 and a 3-2. Has the best ratio by that metric. But it's only a total effectivity of 1. So you could also sort out by like, I only want effectivities. You could do filter by condition and do like a greater than, but you could also just unselect the lower numbers if you want. I just think I like to sort by effectivity and then look for the color over here. So like the best one without a channel 5 seems to be a 4-3 and a 3-4. That doesn't feel that surprising to me, actually. And then after that, honorable mention, this one, 3-2 and a 4-3. 4-2 and a 3-3. And then after that, it's a long time till we get to this guy, a 3-1 and a 4-2. So yeah, I don't know. I think this is pretty cool. I was totally nerd sniped by myself with the pyanodon's beacons. I'll probably use this tool moving forward once in a while. I don't know how much I'll actually use it. I think the idea of it is cooler than the actual thing is necessary. Because we still have Hellmod, and I did report the bug, and Helfima responded, and they said they know how to fix it. So I'm imagining the Hellmod bug will be fixed soon, and we won't have to worry about the counts being wrong of everything. What I might actually do, I wonder if, can I think I can add a beacon. We'll set it to 113.25. Set default. And then if I add another beacon, it doesn't use those defaults. How do you change the defaults for this? I think you can, but I don't remember where. Here. Let's change that to 3. 1.25. Constant beacon would just always add that number. Those are really useful if you're doing like mega base stuff, and especially if you're dealing with weirdly shaped buildings. But yeah, I'll just presume 3 onto each one, and then we should be fine. Okay, so anyway, back to playing the game. What's going on with science? Science says I'm out of Sarcoris because I'm out of cotton guts. Now that was not on my bingo card. I wonder if that's been happening the whole time. Huh. What's going on here? Cotton butts have not slowed down for 10 hours. Interesting. That just means we're not making enough. I guess they got rendered for some reason, probably. That's my guess. Yeah, because lard's at 0. So the lard shortage has caused them to get rendered, which is causing... You know what I need? I need this to be smarter. Because what I want is for it to not do cotton butts unless the other lard things that are already turned on aren't able to run. But that would require a lot more smarts to this. So I'm not going to do that. But that would be nice. For now, I guess I'll just have to trust it'll get there eventually. The oleochemical issue is the issue, I think. Is this a higher priority? This is priority 0. What's my science requester? This is... I don't know where we request the cotton guts. Priority 0 as well. So we should be okay. It'll take turns. Do I want to do fuel rods right now? I don't think so. Also, I think what I do want to do is add a signal right here. That'll make trains a little faster there. On the output, and then we'll add one there as well. Because yeah, we got some traffic going on. All right. So chemical science is running. That's a weird thought. Like, if I just go do other things for a while, we'll end up with chemical science. Nuclear samples are up to 60, and Nexalit has been delivered, has not been delivered? Let's find out. Has not been delivered yet. So it's still a toss-up on who's gonna get here first. Nexalit or nuclear samples, but we need both. Not that it matters, because we don't even have py2 science packs. All right, I did want to add some more prod modules to a couple things. I want to add to... Oh, by the way, I did decide... I meant to mention this at the beginning. I decided that I'm not going to try to make these line up with the stream for the Auto Mall episode on Sunday. I'm just going to put a disclaimer at the start of the stream that it's outside of time. So if people want to follow the timeline properly, they'll have to not watch the stream live, but watch it after the fact. What was it that I wanted to add prod modules to? Shoot, I just had it. It was something that used next. It was Sam. Where's Sam? I don't remember where we built Sam. Also, like, should we add it to etching solution? Because that uses lard. And ferrite, because that uses nichrome. We need prod modules everywhere, but those seem like reasonable places. Anyway, I don't know why I'm delivering all these modules by hand. They're literally automated for a reason. You know, they're being put into whatchamacallit for a reason. This can use prod, but I don't know how much I care about that. Apparently uses Nexalit, so I guess that makes me care about it. Where does the more Nexalit come from? We got 5 Nexalit each, but then that is 100 Paraline, which is 4 Nexalit. So it's actually almost as much Nexalit from the PTCDA as well. Which means I want all of this to be prodded. Don't care as much about those. And Mark II electronics are... Hey, they're running again. Sweet. 69. All right. What do I build now? Like, what am I doing? I don't really know. I don't really know what we're doing. I could, first of all, let me turn off for now, because we're currently lacking an emergency valve on power. I'm gonna let, I don't know if it'll ever catch up, but I'm gonna turn off the the using up of the emergency power. Oh gosh. Base is going dark. I'm not sure if this is smart or the opposite of smart, but let's add a few more megawatts here. Add another 72 megawatts. It won't fix everything, but it'll make a dent. And then that dent will cost us lots of resources. And like, how much time does it take for one of these to pay itself off, even in terms of the power that we used to make the resources to make the building? I have no idea, but eventually it's power positive. It could be 100 hours, so in which case I'm wasting my time. Yeah, I don't know. What are we doing? I kind of lost track of my to-do list. So I've got modules on there. I'm not ready to add the other modules. I can't do that till I do the research. Tier 2 trains are mere moments away from finishing the research, but I can't do it. Make fungicide for 2 for a turd. We also need to make saw blades for WPU turd. Otherwise, the world's our oyster right now. I can kind of do whatever project I want, because we're kind of just waiting for Chem Sci. And then there's a lot of Chem Sciences, which I should start writing these down, I think. There's a lot that we need to do immediately. Like this one gets me the fuel oil and the cumene to phenol recipe. It also gets me better olefins and even a nice way to make a crap ton of light oil if we want to. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. You know, this was on my plan anyway. to make the fuel oil for this. Yeah, okay. I want to make a huge crude oil processing block, which I guess we'll just call this the crude oil processing block. Okay, so I'm gonna go for 400 a second processed crude oil. I'm gonna assume tier 2 buildings eventually. So we'll start out with tier 1 buildings and then eventually we'll upgrade them all and put modules in them and stuff. There's no prod here. There's no prod in most of these, I think, actually, which is a bit of a bummer. But condensates only have the one use, right? Yeah, we've looked into this. So the question is, do I make another, because there's going to be a lot of condensates coming from this. Do I make another condensates build on site at this new location, or do I just trust in this original condensates build and beacons and modules? I say we trust in the original build, because I can add more over here if I really wanted to. I would be okay with that. I could even add more in here if I really needed to. So I'm going to trust in this original build, and we'll just add in a little bit more if we need to. Because right now we're handling 250 condensates. Which is not enough, because you need to handle triple the amount that it says to use up the whole loop. But anyway, so we'll handle the condensates off-site. We can make the free coke here, and I'll ditch. We said the percentage of those isn't enough, so we'll ditch the coke. Then from there, I just need to reset this. I have no idea what I was doing before, so we'll start fresh here. So high distillates, we're going to, I just want to make sure the barrels don't do anything. No, okay. So high distillates really only have the one use unless we select a turd. I still think that turd is decent. I don't know if we're gonna select it though, because the other, its competition was good too. What were the competitions for that? Bio factory upgrade. It was that naphtha, insane amounts of naphtha. We weirdly need a little bit of pitch and natural gas though, so that's kind of annoying. But still, it's an insane amount of naphtha that we get there. So that's certainly not the worst thing I've ever seen. There's the carbon black from jerky and phytoplankton. Right. No, it's free phytoplankton. So it's actually carbon black and stage 4 outlet gas from jerky. That's pretty strong. That feels pretty strong. But I can also make carbon black from tar, which isn't that hard. And as we get higher tier buildings, maybe just is easier and easier. So how good is this really? I don't know. And then there's the nanofibrils. That's right. That's the one I didn't really know how to measure. Which is why we ignored it. And why we're going to keep ignoring it. So anyway, high distillates can only ever do this, so that's what we will do with them. And condensed distillates, I doubt I'll ever make hydrogen with them, given the alternative is like gasoline and something useful. I can make hydrogen from nothing, and with efficiency modules, it'll be even easier to make large amounts of hydrogen. Okay, so that's chill. Then the low distillates. Will I ever make coal gas this way? Is this worth it? I doubt it. Because I can always just make coal gas this way. And this feels so much easier. Like, yeah, I have to get rid of the other stuff, but that one's a fake one. I don't think that one exists anymore. It used to exist. Full bed gas sucks, so we're not going to do that. So there are limited ways to get coal gas, but that being said, I don't think using low distillates on it will ever be a thing. I say that, but like, what if I'm doing nothing else with my low distillates? I don't know. Coal gas is really only needed for like aluminum mining though, right? Or, yeah, aluminum. Because otherwise, oh, I guess we do use it for cadaveric arums, though it's probably a pretty small per second amount. Because syngas we have other ways to make, so I'm not going to need very much coal gas ever. So yeah, that's never going to be a thing. All the other things from low distillates probably will be. So we will make. Well, for now, it's heavy oil and BTX. BTX is not needed, right, for anything? No, it is. We use it for ethylene. And if we need benzene, we could use it for that. Probably we'll never make methane that way. Never say never, I guess, but... And xylanol, which we need later. Did ethylene have another recipe? I don't think it did. No. So that is the main way to get ethylene. So that means we will use some for BTX. And see, here's another version. I guess we'll figure that out in a second, what to do about the numbers. This does get us a lot of residual oil from the heavy oil making. The heavy oil is used in a variety of places, so we do need it, but the question is, do I really need it because of my shale oil? Am I ever going to need more heavy oil? And does condensates give us heavy oil? No, that gives us BTX and tailings. I'm gonna presume we don't need heavy oil from this. And I'm also gonna presume we don't need BTX from this. That could be a bad presumption. Although that's all I can make right now. I'm guessing though... Wait, but does this make more kerosene? That makes 106 kerosene. If we make kerosene directly, it makes 200. Oh, no, that's much more. And this version uses a little bit of gasoline and like 15 buildings, and this version just uses 5 of the heavy oil refineries. So that's probably what we'll do for kerosene and lots of fluid fuel. And then we'll add in the grease one once we have it available. And the xylanol one. Though the xylanol one also begs the question, which is the better way to get xylanol, because we could get heavy oil, or BTX, I mean. So is BTX to xylanol a better ratio of heavy, or low distillates? We get 133 with the tin chromium alloy and an exolite plate, and this is 133 with just a tetrachloride. And none of these can do prod, I assume. Correct. Okay. So we might as well just use the titanium tetrachloride. Save a lot of steps. So yeah, low distillates are kind of only good for heavy oil right now. Or BTX. This kind of feels like an optional part of the build for right now, because I don't have a massive need on these things, but we will want to have it at some point. So I almost want to leave these in here because they're eventually things that might be needed. And We might even need BTX to xylitol. Like, if I need a lot of xylitol, this might be the way that I do it. Though this would be a lower priority thing that I add somewhere else. I don't even remember what xylitol's for. But yeah, grease is probably the main thing that I will need from low distillates. So we'll start with grease, then we make xylitol, and then from there we're already going to get BTX from the condensate, so I guess I'd say heavy oil would be the next, and then from there we could make BTX. But again, I don't think we're going to need it. But what I'll do is I'll add low distillates, 400 actually is the exact amount, and then we're just going to use a fourth, and then 100 over 3, and then 100 over 2, and then they're all kind of set up for the proper counts. It's the count that thoughts. All right, and then we're probably going to use speed modules to pull down the number of buildings here. Feels very nice. This can have single speed module, so can that, and then this one, yeah, I can pull that down to 4 buildings, and that's not even using a beacon. I probably should. I don't know. Should I? It's only 22 megawatts. Let's see. Let's say I threw on a 3.3 beacon. Could that get me down to? Oh, it could. Heck yeah. Down to 2 buildings. Roughly. I guess we want a 4.3 beacon, and then we're down to 2 buildings. Booyah. Nice. That's incredible. Yeah, beacons are the truth. All right. So that's handled the low distillates and the high distillates. Finally, we can... Well, I guess we can ask ourselves, do I finally want to use all this residual oil? Because that's a crap ton of residual oil now. Which gives us more residual mixture. Like a lot more. I'm not going to hit matrix solver because there's about a 150 chance that it breaks something, but I can play with this number until 150% is too much residual mixture. Or wait, no, not enough. 160, still not enough. 170, 175. We'll just go with 170. Okay. So there we go. Might as well get the free coke out of it. Coking gas oil. It does make coke oven gas. I guess my question is that now worth dealing with? Probably not. That's such a tiny amount of both. I don't think that's worth dealing with here. I'll just ditch that. Unless there's something else I can do with it. No. Okay, so that's good. Dump. Trash export the coke. We can also, if we really wanted to, we could turn the coke into coal gas and tar. But I don't think we're going to do that here. Why is that recipe here? Coke is not even an ingredient in it. Oh, red hot coke. I see. Okay, so finally we've got our medium distillates, which are the gem. The shining gem. I doubt we're going to upgrade them to high distillates anytime soon. We can, though. Requires a lot of crackers, too. But yeah, for now we're going to turn all the medium distillates into strip distillates. And the strip distillates can be turned into all of my favorite things. benzene, methanol, gasoline, cumene, fuel oil, olefins. And those two we're about to unlock, I think. All three of them, actually. Perfect. So probably cumene priority, then, well, no, we're gonna be doing fuel oil, so that's always the priority. Fuel oil first, then cumene, then probably, sounds weird because light oil makes gasoline. So does that just make more gasoline to do it that way? There's no prod in here, so maybe not. But we get so much aromatics. Would I rather have 400? Kind of analyze this here. Would I rather have 400 aromatics and 200 gasoline, or 266 gasoline? I mean, I think the answer to that's obvious. I'd rather have the huge amounts of aromatics at the cost of only a little bit of gasoline. So that seems pretty reasonable. Because remember, the aromatics, I mean, that makes us petroleum gas with hydrogen. It makes us diesel, if we really want it to, with chromium and hydrogen. I forgot about that one. That's actually pretty good once we get the next chromium. And more, the main thing I was going to say is it makes us lubricant once we get ChemSci going. And it's an ingredient in a variety of things. Does it, like, make anything else? That's probably not going to be worth it unless Nextlit gets crazy cheap, but I don't think it ever gets that cheap. I don't know. I don't think benzene's ever going to be needed that much to spin Nextlit on it like that. So probably this one is the main thing we'll do with extra aromatics once we have efficiency modules to make lots of hydrogen. But yeah, I mean, we'll mostly just turn it into lubricant. Sulfur, which, can I just like delete the sulfur easily? I guess I can trash provide it if I want to, but kind of just such a small amount of sulfur. I'm already trash providing the coke. I guess I can trash. Is there not? I thought there was a recipe. Am I missing it? That just used like sulfur and water or something to make something. And then you could delete it. I don't want sulfur and peroxide. It's somewhere. There's sulfur and refined syngas. Maybe it's not a thing. I guess I could just burn it if I want to. You can make pyrite with it. We already looked into all that once upon a time. But yeah, I think we're good here. And then other uses for strip distillates are the methanol and benzene. Oh, and olefins, actually. Olefins should probably go here. The light oil is actually the lowest priority. So fuel oil, then cumene, then olefins, then light oil, aka lubricant and gasoline. And then after that, maybe I'll finally look at ethanol and benzene as options. And even with those, like, is that really worth it? We have so many ways to make methanol. Right now, which way am I doing? I'm doing... See, like, even this one, does this one get good once we have cheaper Orgsolv and olefins? It's so hard to compare. Right now, I think I'm doing that one, which is really not that bad. Copper's super cheap, and 1 zinc per 150 methanol is also pretty cheap. But there's a world where this is good, funnily enough. Hold on, I'm gonna make a little separate block to investigate this. Because now we're using this one. I guess that's still syngas to methanol, though. But the acetone can come from the beautiful new recipe that we're going to have soonish. And that comes from the strip distillates. And then the olefins come from... What's the good one that we're about to get? When do we get aromatics to olefin? I don't think we get that one, right? No. Is the one... Oh, I didn't mean to cue that up. We do get that. Oh. Jammin'. Heck yeah. Oh, that's so chill. Oh yeah, we even saw that that was an infinite loop. Okay, hold on. Maybe this actually is good. Those ironically do support, some of these support productivity even. So is this good? So what's different? I mean, there's a lot different here. So we're getting... How do I break this down in my head? We're getting phenol out kind of for free. So we're getting ammonia and petroleum gas at the cost of a little bit of strip distillates and aromatics. That's essentially the difference. And that's instead of the cost of zinc and copper plates. But given we can do prod on all of these steps, except the cumene, what does that turn into? That makes it look pretty attractive. Because I'm assuming the other methanol version can't use prod, the one we've been doing. Yeah. So, which is better? It's looking pretty attractive. Free petroleum gas, free ammonia, free phenol. We still get the methanol that we need. We're using less syngas for the same amount of methanol. It's mainly the aromatics cost, but again, the aromatics, when you boil it down, are basically free because we get, I mean, there's so many ways to make aromatics. But the way that I'm currently thinking of is we just grab them from the... Where did it go? Yeah, from light oil, which comes from the cracking of strip distillates. So if you look at it that way, now you've broken down the aromatics back into strip distillates, which is not that crazy. And worth noting, this is better than strip distillates to methanol, which was one of our options. So I'm glad we looked into this, because strip distillates to methanol is just one of the things that exists, and we've learned that that's, I guess it's a shorter path to get to methanol than this nonsense. This needs its own build. However, I think it's far worse. So strip distillates to methanol is just 1 to 1.5, and this is like 40 to 100. It's 1 to 2.5, on top of all these other beautiful byproducts, ammonia and petroleum gas and phenol. Now the main difference is that this does cost syngas, whereas strip distillates to methanol doesn't, but the syngas is cheap. There's lots of ways to make syngas. I mean, a lot of ways to make syngas. This will probably be the one that we do in the later game. Or even, I could do this as soon as a few researches from now, when we have built this. And we have the next, and we have molten chromium. And then that's just infinite syngas from all the naphtha we're getting. So yeah, I do like this. This is a build we'll do eventually, I think. For now, I probably won't. And the strip distillates and the aromatics will come from outside. So this will all just be... and the olefins will come from outside. I mean, it's tricky because it's like all of this will come from outside. So really, this is just this. But at some point, I do need to make a new organic solvent build and a new olefins build. But yeah, this is so chill. Okay, I'm pretty happy about that. So we'll take this out. We'll leave in the benzene one, unless there's some other new fancy way to get benzene that's super cheap. This is the last thing, and then we'll be done. So it's either BTX or strip distillates, but that needs an exolate, and that needs an alloy. I don't love either of those when we can just get it from tailings. Also get it from tall oil and light oil. What is tall oil and light oil in terms of distillates? Because tall oil is high distillates and light oil is medium distillates. Curious if you end up with more benzene, because that's 100 to 150. What is this? This can be productivity, also worth noting. Because if you turn the naphtha into tall oil, which we will be doing a lot of, let's go back to the light oil from stripped. What's going on here? Oh, that's using the light oil. Oh my god. Maybe this is worse than I thought. That's the slowest recipe of all time. Even in tier 2 buildings that requires 50 fluid separators. Yeah, we might need a higher tier of beacon before that, and modules and such before this would become doable. Okay, never mind. This sucks. Wow. Okay, I'll make benzene other ways. Alright, drop the benzene and we're done. Okay, so then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 uses for strip distillates here. And that means we do the exact same math we did before. So we add in an additional input. Hey, the research finished. We have tier 2 trains unlocked. We add in medium distillates of 400. Is that the right number though? 133 times 3. Yeah, actually, it is. It is the right number. Divide by 4. Divide by 3. Divide by 2. By the way, what I'm doing here, I didn't explain myself earlier. We're just making it so that these each are built to be able to consume the amount of distillates I'll actually be making. Because the amount of distillates I'm actually making, and that means we need to set this to 25%. Because that's the amount we're actually making right there. And then these are essentially able to handle that amount. Wait a second. Oh, I screwed this up. Sorry. I needed to add stripped distillates, not medium distillates. But yeah, it's like a modal build. It's not, it can't do all of these at once, but I want it to be able to do any of them to max speed. So that's what we're dealing with here. So we can do all of those to max speed. And then light oil comes from a lot of different sources. So we'll have to separate this build into its own thing. Because I want this to stay mostly contained to what are we doing with the distillates. And that's it. Past that, everything's on trains. And I guess the what are we doing with the residual oil question, because that's... I just hit control click and it didn't go to the bottom. What just happened? Oh no, I didn't mean to do what I just did. What did I just did? What did I just do? I removed the light oil aromatics and aromatics to... Oh, because we wanted to. We said that would be a different block. Where did the residual oil... I swear I hit control click on this and it just didn't... I must have misclicked. Alright, anyway, that's what we want. Okay, and then residual mixture, now that we've got even more of it, we need to keep using up even more of it. What is that now? 210? Still not enough. 230? Okay, too much. 225. Perfect. So this does get us a decent amount of coke out at the end of the day. And now is this enough coking gas oil to care about? The answer is no, it still isn't. Only 7.5 coke oven gas, and the amount of coke is only 1/6 more than it was before. That being said, this is only one building. So, given that it's free coke, I might as well just put this right next to this guy. And then now we have more coke. I mean, I guess there's no reason not to. It's just a little bit of steam in one building. Okay, that is the build. It is net negative on a little bit of gasoline, which we use as a catalyst, and then obviously we use a good amount of titanium tetrachloride and tin chromium alloy, neither of which are being made yet. So those need to go into our alloy plant, and still haven't made any prod modules. How are those looking? I'm just thinking about the tin chromium and like, doesn't it eventually get molten as an alternative, which means we're gonna have to start shipping around molten. How do I feel about that? Like, is 25,000 molten tin a ridiculous amount to ship around in a train? It kind of is. Maybe I'll ship them around in smaller amounts. Like 10,000. That's still a lot, because remember, for a lot of fluids, 2 molten metal is 1 plate. Yeah, and that's the case here as well. So 10,000 is 5,000 plates. So I don't think I want 12,500 plates per fluid wagon. Anyway, we're jammed up on MOSFETs again because we're out of the rare earth oxides. Now that was not on the bingo card. Okay, let's see what's going on with that. Just not fast enough? What was my... Oh, there's no way I can find it. 7.5 a second. What's the actual cost here? Oh. Okay, yeah, I definitely need more. Could I have built this any, like, worse in terms of expandability? I don't think I could have. And that's unrelated to this, I think. Or is it? Wait. I'm making ammonia on site for this? What is this? This is old-fashioned crap is what it is. All right, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add in an F requester because that one's already used up. We're gonna throw ammonia in here because we have way more ammonia from way more sources now. We're gonna put 55. We'll do 60. Why not just do 75,000? Whatever. And then we're gonna remove this stupid building that's here for stupid reasons. And I mean, I'm being rude to myself. It's not stupid, but this isn't how we should do it anymore. So get rid of that. The ammonia will be shipped in from above. Here, I think is the right connection. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. As far as rare earth ore goes, how much ore was this using? Do we have... So that's using 1 ore per second. What are we actually mining? Rare earth. 3.75. Okay, I can do faster for sure. Should I have crushed this like with 1 step before I... Yes. I really should have. That would have been 4 times denser to ship this instead. Rare earth powder. Can I still do that? I somehow don't have a super trasher here in this whole craziness. I feel like we were just looking at that in the last episode too. We were like, how do we not have a super trasher here? And we don't. That being said, I use a crap ton of stone, so there's almost a 100% chance we could consume that stone. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. My trains are about to get more efficient anyway, so for now, let's just kind of rebuild this nonsense into something that's slightly better. Alright, get rid of all this. These belts are in a very annoying spot. What are these belts? Where are these coming from? Oh, it's not where they're coming from, it's where they're going. But they're not doing anything. Wait, is that true? Is this stone 100% dead? I really need to make sure it's 100% dead. I think it is. That's dead. Hopefully I need to get the belt. I don't know why I haven't installed it. There's like a belt visualizer mod, and that would help me follow it. I don't need to do it very often, I guess is why I haven't installed it yet, but it would be really useful right about now. But I'm pretty sure none of this needs to run. Why is this running? That's slightly worrisome. Is that zinc getting used at all? No. Wait a second. That means the zinc... Is it Salsa or Bat Boy? Bat Boy loads zinc. But I don't think those batteries are getting made anymore. Or used anymore. I don't think. No, they're not even hooked up. Okay, so that's not it. So that means it's gotta be Salsa. Where are you unloading? This one. And this is making zinc. What? Do I not have a zinc facility? I do have zinc up here. What's going on here? That zinc just goes straight into trains. Ah, I see. Whereas this zinc does this, goes on this belt, and is not used for alloys. Goes over here where it's, I don't think it's used anymore, but let's make sure it's not. And then it goes over here to where it's not used, and then it goes down here, and then it goes all the way over. And it's not there, blah, 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 blah. It goes to here where it is priority 0. So I guess they're just taking turns providing zinc is all that's happening. So I'm gonna just cut that and no longer use that zinc. Okay. That is now answered. How am I still out of plastic? I don't know. Are we not requesting enough? Oh, there's 10 stacks extra. I'll throw in another 2. Why not? Okay, so back to the rare earth, because that's what all of this started. These stone belts are not needed anymore, is the major point. But I'm not going to have bots do that, because that's going to be a little crazy. I'll just pick it up myself. Haven't been to the southwest in a while. Should be nice this time of year. And what do we pick for our next research? I'd say arcads, but we don't, I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll do a look at all of my available turds and pick them just to pick them, but I don't think we need that yet. We definitely need neuroelectronics for a lot of the tier 2 buildings, so that'll be coming down the pipeline, but not quite yet. For right now, I think the priority is power. So let's get this. Oh no. This requires a lot more researches than I thought it did. Huh. Okay, that's too far away. Shoot. Whereas gas power is right here, waiting for me. So maybe I start with a little bit of gas power and then make a bigger fuel power plant later. So let's do that. Oh wait, no, I don't have Kimsai yet. So that, as far as Pi 2 techs, I think that's all we need for right now. I do want the Mukmu one for the skin glycerol thing. So we'll at least queue that up. And then I don't think, I mean, obviously I want this eventually, but I don't need it right now. I do need more fiber for more coal dust, though. I don't know. I'll at least queue it up. And then biofilms needed, but not yet. Okay. So then for now, we can finally look at our first Kimsai that we're going to want to do, which is going to be what? Probably Anthraquinone. Also convert wood to coal. That's a new one. Interesting. And coal to coal dust instead of fiber to coal dust. That'll be useful for multiple reasons. Though I'm uncertain with the WPU it's possible that, or with the saw blades, I mean, it's possible that this isn't better. Light oil to syngas and tar. There's so many loops. Anyway, is this the first one we want to do? Potentially. It's definitely one of the first ones we want to do, so I'll queue it up. This one gets us free lube. Oh, this is the recipe I was looking for earlier. I knew it existed. I just didn't notice it because we hadn't unlocked it yet. Sulfur plus water equals water. Literally just desulfurizes the sulfur. It disappears. And this is also, if we have extra molybdenum, a good way to make ammonia. So this one's certainly on the list for the lubricant. Nexilate 2. It's a pretty big thing to build out, but it will be very nice. This was the free olefins one. Plus a way to recycle tailings into crude oil, which is kind of cool. Though I think I'll be using our tailings mostly for other things. Fiberboard 2 was nice, but not necessarily needed. It was this one that's needed for phenol and for fuel oil. Ooh. That could be a good way to make hydrogen in the late game. Imagine that plus the one that gets you like 650 naphtha from high distillates. Now you're really getting free hydrogen. Don't care about this yet. Oleochemicals plus sulfuric gets you heavy oil. That doesn't seem that good. None of these matter right now. Drilling fluid 2, vanadium 2 we didn't care about, as we said. I thought there was one more that felt really important early on in chemical science. Oh, beacons. Right. Where are those? Oh. We gotta bumble our way down through Pi 2 a little bit more first. Okay, so those are still a little bit further away. Huh. Maybe Nexilate's the next one then? Okay. It feels like a reasonable progression of first chemical science recipes. Starting with the anthraquinone, moving on to lubricant, then phenol, and then Nexilate. Those are all very contested things right now. Problem is we're not getting more power in any of that. So I may have to add in some interruptions anyway. And I doubt we're gonna have enough chemical science for all that to go in a row, so that's fine. Oh man, I'm so excited. We have so many awesome things that are like cooking right now. We have a lot of things to work on. Plus, as always with, you know, pyanodons, there's gonna be a million things that break, so plenty to work on. Are we still waiting? Yeah. Which one is the rare earth? 3K, 306. I can do another couple stacks just in case. All right, but it's completely stopped right now, so I don't know what I'm expecting because it's not going to run without interaction here. So what we want to do is get rid of all these, which is a huge pain in the booty. I don't think we need these. Big power poles at home, no longer needed. Very glad I didn't walk onto the train track right there. Where is it going? Oh, it's delivering worker food. Look at that. For the much, much needed Nexalit. Alright, get out of here. And imagine how long it would have taken the bots to do this. It would have been rough. Alright. I will keep one stack for train fuel, and then I will delete these. Uh-oh. I'm gonna run out of ammo. No! It's still alive. Thing doesn't do enough damage. This is not the way. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, let's not worry about that. We'll just hide you somewhere where you're gonna be out of the way for a while. Alright. So anyway, we need jaw crushers. Let's say 3 of them. I don't know how many. On rare earth. That enough? Probably. Yeah, that can handle a lot of ore. No reason to go behind the buildings. I can go in front of the buildings. And the input is 2.5, which I guess needs a fast inserter. The output is the same amount. And then we need to filter the stone to the left. And the other stuff, the good stuff, around. Are we missing this building? No, I don't think it was in construction range before. So each of these can handle 1.25 of the rare earth powder. No, we're skipping a step. We need ball mills. Alright. Ball mill. I don't know how many I need. 0.5. So if I've got 3 of these, I need like a lot of these. 5 is not enough. I don't know. I'll trust in beacons and modules later. 5 is enough for now, is my answer to that. And then we need... Where's the super trash stuff go? Here's the stone belt. Alright, then we need the FTS. I always want to call them an FTL. FTL reactor sounds way cooler. Okay, so then these onto a belt. I will say, Bob's adjustable inserters are going to be a little bit more cheaty with Pi beacons than they are with vanilla beacons. I do get an actual advantage there, because what is going to happen is it allows us to put the belt, because the AM5 beacons only have a range of 2 squares, whereas vanilla beacons have a range of 3, so you can easily have inserter belt. But with pi beacons, the beacon actually has to occupy this square. So you can't just have a belt going across without using undergrounds. Obviously, undergrounds still make it possible with straight inserters, but now you can't have, you know, essentially the maximum number of belts you normally would have would be 3. But we will be able to do 5 if we want to, and it will allow for more shenanigans that we normally wouldn't be able to do. So there's a little bit of advantage there. I'm not too worried about it, but I just wanted to point that out. Gravel. And this. And then, say 2 of these. I have no idea what's in this pipe, so I'm not gonna connect to it just yet. The sulfuric is down there. Why is it down there? I don't totally understand what's happening here. I blame past Krydax for everything. Now that's supposed to be ammonia, right? Is there a reason that hasn't arrived? Am I out of ammonia? Didn't have that on my bingo card either. Yep. Cool. Okay. That's great. That's just great. We're out of ammonia. Alright, good to know, good to know, good to know. What's the new way that we're about to get to make ammonia? The new way is... Oh, that one. Yeah, the shale oil and molybdenum. I don't even know if that's any good. It's so much molybdenum, but it may be necessary for a little bit. Because molybdenum isn't costing us ammonia, so it's like I assume I have more molybdenum than needed. Yeah, it's just taking breaks for long periods of time, so we could turn that into something we need instead. Anyway, we're gonna need water. Here. In case I want another building. Okay, so water's hooked up. Then I don't even know what's going on at this point. All of this is chaos. Okay, so the rare earth dust is here. We need to feed that into these buildings. And then the water will get built soon or right now. I had to switch back to the thing. Sulfuric? What did I do wrong there? They're not a pipe yet? Oh, they're just not built. There we go. Done and dusted. Okay, so then we need the rich dust. No, the rare earth mud. To get used in the thickeners. And the rate there is 31.2. Oh, wow. Okay, I need a lot of these. Or at least a few of them. Let's say, I don't know. 4? Sure. Okay, and that goes over to here. Trying to build this all pretty quick, like. These make cold steam. I just don't care about cold steam anymore. Sue me. I think with efficiency modules, electric boilers being as small as they are, I just don't care about cold steam. We'll make it on site. I'm not going to put it on trains. It's not worth the train traffic. Okay, so there's the slurry, and then we need the sulfuric. This is the ammonia, which we'll need soon, but not on this step. Okay, so there's the sulfuric going across, and then we got this guy going across. All right, I gotta get some more coffee. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So, back to what we're doing here. We get tailings out. Oh, that's the wrong. Okay, so the tailings go to somewhere that we've already hooked up. Those go to here. Why did I build this so weird? Like, the way that I built it is like how I used to build things for Factorio, you know, where it's like I'm trying to fit it into this tiny little area. Like, why did I not build things in lines here? And I feel like there are a few places I've done that, and then later I've looked back and I'm like, why did I not build that in lines that I could expand later? That's the whole point of, like, having city blocks and stuff. What else was it that I built really weird? I'm trying to remember. There's something I was looking at, just, I think it was in the last episode, and I was like, why did I build it that way? I don't remember what it was. I've gotten better about it, I think, because most of these things are, like, even this is better than it seems, because, like, this is the bad part. I didn't leave room to turn those into automated factories later, so we are going to have to redo that. But, like, that's in a line, these are in a line, I can easily, you know, move that over. So that's all fine. There was something, though, where I was like, past Krydax is a chump. And he did not do that well. Oh, maybe it was, yeah, it was food. Food is so wonky. I very much wish I had done that differently from the beginning. Anyway, back to tailings are hooked up. And then these output 1.25. I think a regular insert is fast enough. But both of those are trash. Have I been trashing rich dust? And uranium? I don't remember if I have. Actually, kind of concerned right now. Am I not trashing uranium? Did I just say to myself, this will take years to build up, so it doesn't matter? Because that does sound like something past Krydax would say. Very much so. Alright, anyway, the rare earth slurry gets used in this one. Fluid separator. And it is 1-to-1 here. Oh, but I need space for the ammonia. I don't need to connect these, but I will. Just because that could prevent other weirdnesses later. Okay, and then the ammonia, which is what we're out of, which is probably the real reason we're low on rare earth ore, is that this didn't have ammonia for a while or something like that. And then the rare earth solution. Oh, wait, what? Which way did we do this? I get twice as much if I add sulfuric. Well, I'm doing that. I don't think I was doing that before, but I definitely am now. Middle click that. Or no, I was doing it this way now that I look at it. but I'm putting it out here. I have no idea how much I need. 12.5. So 4 is enough. Just keep things rolling here. We're almost there. Sulfuric needs to connect through. That happen here. And then finally the rare earth concentrate goes into the solid separator. And I do need more of those than one. I can't really do direct insert because those are way faster, so I just need a big row of these now. Okay. Boom. 2.562 fast inserters. And then filter out copper ore. This trash. Feed these guys. Just do it like that. And then we filter out iron oxide as trash. A lot of trash in this loop. Kind of ridiculous, actually. And then this should be the REOs. 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 Alright, trash. Up, over. Should have been right here. Okay, and then the REOs go to you. Okay, and then this is trash. Okay. So I think we're good. Maybe. I don't know though if we're trashing all the right things. So let's see. This will be trash the solids from these guys. There's no solids there. That's rich just in sand. Okay. So the real question is, what's going on with this copper and uranium? Are we requesting uranium in our super trasher? We sure are not. I think I did just look at that and say it's not going to pile up for a long time. That was my solution. That was my crappy solution. Because as far as I can tell, that is an issue. Cool. But copper ore, is that getting requested? This one is. We need copper ore for mixed ores. Now there's the question is, what's our mixed ore usage versus rare earth ore usage? Mixed ores are needed at around 50 a minute, which is about 1 a second, which means we're using about 1.6 copper ore a second. I assume this will never make 1.6 copper ore a second. It will if these are all running at full speed. Which they won't be, because that's an amount of rare earth, that would be way more than... Would be 10 of that, which would be... Yeah, it would be 5 rare earth or a second. Or oxide a second. So I don't think that's gonna be a thing to overfill on copper, but it is a thing to overfill on uranium. That's annoying. Why did I not just burn it? Can I not burn it? I assume I can. I guess I don't have fuel here, might have been my reason. So we could... Is there like a super easy way to not deal with it? Could I just request the uranium somewhere and call it a day? I could request it right here. This requester has no requests. And belt it down. Oh! I'm so dumb. I apologize, everybody. I didn't see that on the side. Okay, well, don't burn the copper. Actually, do burn the copper, but only if the copper is greater. I literally was already doing all of that. Gosh. Past Krydax, you're the best. You're the best, man. I love you. You think of everything except building your rare earth oxides correctly, of course. But other than that, you think of everything. That's so funny. Oh, solving problems your past self has already solved. And you didn't even notice they were already solved. Cool. Okay. We must have gotten our ammonia shipment because things are running now. Perfect. All right. Rare earth oxides improved. That still is 0 progress towards what we're doing. Have we made a... We haven't made a chem site yet. It would have told us. We got the nuclear... Nexalit is the loser, for those who are curious. And I need to change that guy to channel 1. Nexalit is the big loser right now. So we need to keep checking on worker food. Yep, it's been good. Just check our way kind of down the chain. Raw Nexalit, production's been good, consumption's been good, and Nexalit plates. Yeah, production's been consistent as much as it can be. Train arrives, smelts it all, and break. So for now, that's the best I can do without making more workers' food, I think. Which I guess I could do. Anything stopping me from making even more? I'm a bit worried about the cost of all of it and not being able to afford it. But there's nothing inherently stopping me, so let's just add another one. Because we need it. I will have to change those to channel 1, and otherwise it won't work right. Okay, so what am I actually building next? Do I want to set up for... I think I want to set up for this research first. Which I'll do as soon as I have the chemsci. So chromite sand, anthracene, sulfuric makes anthraquinone. Okay. Currently, my anthraquinone was being made... How? What's all of this again? It's with vanadium pentoxide, right? Where was that located? Was it in the red circuit build? No. It's been somewhere else. Where did we put that? No, it is this for hydrogen peroxide. Right. But where am I doing the hydrogen peroxide? Where did we do that? I have no memory of these. That's ethanol and yellow. That was for nuclear. Where did we do hydrogen peroxide block? Did I not? I don't know. These are all new. Was it in here? It was in the antimony. No. No, sorry. That's for antimony pulp too. Still haven't found it. Cool. Where did I make hydrogen peroxide? Not in pi2. Apparently not in Kim's side. Maybe I deleted it? Must have deleted it. Oh no, there it is. It's just in my fluids section. Okay, so anyway, anthraquinone, yeah, it needs vanadium pentoxide and naphthalene. So the new version, which is so much better, is just the chromite sand version. It does need anthracene instead of naphthalene. There's a slight difference. But yeah, way cheaper. Cannot be prodded. Cannot be prodded. Can any of these be prodded? Oh, that one can. Interesting. That's more of a vanadium pentoxide thing, though. And that can be prodded. Tailings to acid, gas, and tailings dust. Anyway, I digress quite a bit because we just need chromite sand and anthracene. Anthracene's the easier one to get, right? Because naphthalene needs, like, the middle oil. Yeah. Whereas anthracene, you can just straight up make that from tar. And ditch the rest if you want the simplicity. Which we probably would, unless we've got anthracene provided on trains, which I have no memory of if we do or not. Anthracene. Well, yeah, we don't have that on trains. So then in our vanadium build, which is somewhere to the east, is it not? I thought it was out here. Oh, it's way up there. Yeah, that's not where I remembered it being. Okay, so for here, this was the bad way to make anthraquinone, and now we replace that with the good way to make anthraquinone, which is a couple of these, some chromite sand, and some sulfuric, and happy days. And then I'll add a third one of these because this will get more efficient. And I will need a lot more of it. In fact, I'm just gonna preemptively fully double it. That does give me a little bit of a issue here. I'll just bring this along. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. Okay, and then for these guys, we need to import tar and chromite sand. Okay, how are we doing on this chest? This chest is at 100 out of 108. It's maxed. Okay. This one is not maxed. Okay. Chromite sand. I have no idea how much, but not that much. Whoops. Definitely did a little much there. at 2,500 stacks. And are we requesting sulfuric acid? Somehow we made it this far without requesting sulfuric acid. I've got naphthalene there, but not anthracene. So... is that being provided? Yeah, we've got naphthalene there, but not anthracene. This is actually jammed up on anthracene. Is that what we want? I don't remember what we want here. Why is that is that bad? Is that supposed to happen? I don't remember any of this. We have no formamide because we have no ammonia, so that's a different problem. But is this supposed to be jammed up on anthracene? I do not remember at all. Anthracene goes over to make carbon black, and that's what it's for. So, because of that, it would be very easy for me to also provide anthracene. Because of this build exists for anthracene. So that means providing anthracene on trains for our anthraquinone is very doable. The rate is smaller than I would have thought. So this is actually going to steal quite a bit of my anthracene from rubber, which could be a bad thing. But more or less should be fine. And these are enable disabled, so I can... what? Oh. This one can be anthracene. Oh, look at that. It was literally right behind my cursor. That's such a cool feeling. Okay. So now, all we have to do is this. Pump. This. Power. Done? What the? Am I? Why did I just connect that to creosote? How blind am I? Very blind. This. Pump. This. Okay, there we go. I don't know what that was about. Okay, so now anthracene is on trains. That's all I'm getting at here. I still need anthracene and sulfuric, though. Which is slightly annoying because I don't have enough requester doodads for it. And these aren't... I can't add a fourth easily with the way these trains are set up. So I kind of need to wait. Or add another requester. I don't really have another option right now. So I guess we'll just put you on sulfuric and we'll get the anthracene once the research is actually done. This will get us mostly prepared for it. Sulfuric acid. That is the correct one. 50,000. That is wired up. And that is filtered. Okay. So then that will go up to here. And then how do we want to arrange these? 2 in, 2 out. At least gives access to 3 of them on the top and bottom. Does leave the anthracene floating. There's anthracene, there's steam, and there's sulfuric. Cold steam, we just vent it, like we've said. That's my new policy. Are we providing anthraquinone too? Yeah, we are. So then that is here. Go down, over, and merge with the previous line. Okay, so that's pretty much ready to go. We do need a belt here. Feed in the chromite sand. And yeah, as soon as we switch over from naphthalene to anthracene, we'll be good to go there. Cool. And then my usage of vanadium pentoxide basically disappears. Which is fine, because we get a new way to make vanadium pentoxide for the actual need of vanadium pentoxide, which we will need for other things. We need vanadium pentoxide for a lot of stuff, but not anthraquinone. But once we need it for these things, super alloy is probably the first one we'll need, I think. I don't remember. Maybe carbon nanotubes. I say I don't remember, I've never gotten this far. But I'm guessing it's going to be super alloy or super steel or something. And I don't think we need to do anything else. Those are all hooked up? Yeah, okay, we're good to go. So that's ready to go as soon as we finish that research. Cool. And then I'm still having plastic issues, probably because of ammonia issues. Yeah. Oh, we're out of coke. Now that's a problem. That shouldn't happen. We should never be out of coke. What's going on here? We're out of bitumen froth because we're out of crushed oil sand? Because we have too much stone? Oh, the soot. The soot's jammed it up. Are we not requesting soot? I thought we dealt with this. Broken base, 2-hour episode, classic Krydax. He says he's gonna be done and then he's not. We are requesting soot. It's not getting consumed because we have more than enough silver gold. Again, this has happened twice. Well, I'll keep buffering gold just because I can, but I need to deal with soot in a different way. Or you literally can't. So that's a 1 second, 4 for 10. It's about 2 per second either way. That nets you about 1 item per soot, half an item per soot. This nets you 0.6 of an item per 10 soot. So that's definitely what we need to do. So then I guess we need to start burning gold if we have too much. That feels that feels like a crime, like a literal crime. But it's happened twice, and I think at one, by the time I have 10,000, like we're already looking at, you know, we've buffered enough. So I do think I need to actually set this up, which is hilarious. What fuel will we use? Weirdly, there's no fuel nearby except for that wood belt. The silver and gold are occupying the same side of the belt. That's the other mistake. They need to occupy different sides of the belt. That way it won't jam up with one or the other. So gold will be on the bottom and silver will be on the top. And the ash side of belt shouldn't matter. So then what I can do, I think that's supposed to not have fuel, right? Yeah. That's there to burn extra coal dust or something. So then what I can do is add a burner just right here, because this has easier access to the wood from here. And we'll do that. Okay, then what we're gonna do is an overflow for gold. So it'll output priority right, but then do one of these and do one of these. All right, so if we ever have too much gold, it'll flow into this and get burned, which is just hilarious. But that should be able to consume 5 soot per second, and our build makes 10 soot? No. No, it makes up to 5 soot per second. And this is just a lead ore provider that is limited, right? Yeah. So it's free lead ore. I should probably do the thing where I crush it. Or I guess you just turn it on to grade 1. Yeah. That can handle 1.6 ore per second. I guess I would only need a couple of these if I have a beacon and a module. So then we could just process that and provide the grade 1, which stacks to 100. So you're you're literally 10 times denser on trains when you do it that way. Yeah. Okay, well that should unlock this. How long has it been? I'm scared to look. 3 hours. It's been 3 hours. 3.5, really. One tiny little spike. Okay, well that's bad. 3.5 hours with none of our bitumen running. That's never a good thing. But it's fixed, and this is fixed, and we've made improvements, and we've actually built out our preparation for better Anthraquinone, which is great. So progress is happening. Next on the list is hoping someday we get an electronics delivery. I think we will, once we have 29 more. And then that will finally get modules flowing for a little while in our auto mall. And then from there, it's just waiting for chemical science, which is still waiting for Nexalit. I mean, we're only getting 80 a minute-ish. That's still only 20 minutes. That is 5,000 an hour. So why is this not had any Nexalit yet? It should be taking turns with other Nexalit requesters. Right? I guess a lot of the Nexalit is consumed before it gets to the train. These guys take a lot. Those take 1 apiece. Phoenix takes 1 apiece, and... Oh, but that's it. How much Phoenix am I using? Only 12 a minute. So that leaves 4,000 Nexalit that's gone on trains. Right? I think so. Is there a reason this is providing coke? Where's that coke even coming from? Like, is that a good thing for me that it's providing coke? Probably. Probably keeps this stuff running. I think we want this stuff to run. This is currently the only source of coal gas for, and I think it's a source of syngas for some mining, and it's the only source of coal gas for aluminum mining. I'm not 100% sure about all those things, but But yeah, I mean, I think Nexalit is not catching up, but it's going to catch up better than it did before. I don't know. There's nothing else I can do about it. At this point, it's just a waiting game. I'm still surprised, though, that in this whole episode, we didn't get one shipment to chemical science. So I'm just making sure I didn't do anything wrong. If we look at the requesters, how many requesters are there for Nexalit plates? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9, 10. That's why it hasn't gotten a turn yet. There's 10 different freaking requests for it. And they're all hungry. Well, at least a lot of them are hungry. Alloys are hungry. I guess these new alloys used up a bunch of them. Copper plate? Why is that requesting Nexalit? It's gotta be for something else, right? That's the only way I can make olefins right now. Forgot about that. It's that or nichrome. I guess we should have gone with the nichrome version. Interesting. We're not using very many olefins, so it's fine for now, but that's just another thing that used Nexalit. And then these alloys are taking how much? And then we'll be done with the episode. These are taking, neither is taking Nexalit. What? I've lost my mind. None of these use Nexalit. I've truly become concerned about my sanity. What did I just see in LTN? What is this? Oh, it's the requester that requests those. Ah, yes. Okay, and we've already designated those for getting upgraded to save us a little bit on Nexalit. Okay, anyway. Cool. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.